All right, welcome back. It's time for this week's Capitol Report with Pat McGuigan of CapitolBeatOK.com. Pat, this week you cited News9 reporting in two in-depth analyses of Cheyenne and Arapaho land claims at and around Fort Reno Science Park. Talk about your conclusions.
Well, certainly Kelly Ogle's reports back in early July kind of provoked a new round of people looking at the things that go on at historic Fort Reno. And he was following up on Jim Gardner's taking some pictures, you know, from up in the air looking down, and it kind of reminded everybody, oh yeah, there's something out there where they're doing Baboon Research. Well, it's an OU facility. The Oklahoman, to their credit, followed up with some good reporting, a front page story about the facility right around the time that President David Boren announced he was going to undertake a review of the functions that go on there. Right. Now, joining in were some animal rights folks that I don't necessarily agree with, although I respect their right to speak out about animal experimentation in general. So you have a combination of a whole lot of money being spent at historic Fort Reno and questions being raised about the appropriateness of some of the research. So there's one thing. Here's the rest of the thing that concerns me about this whole situation. This is not the federal government's land. This is the Cheyenne and Arapaho's land. It was promised to be returned to them once the area was no longer to be used for exclusively military use. I believe that's a direct quote from the original presidential executive orders. The government has delayed doing the right thing since the late 1940s, introducing one function after another that could not be described as a military use. It's time to give Fort Reno back to the people that it belongs to. The area is a few thousand acres and does not include the prison, so there'd be no threat to the prison system. It's past time to do the right thing. This is a historic issue where the land claim is pretty clean, and the government needs to do what's right.
See if anyone's listening.
We'll see.
Okay. Now, we both attended Thursday night's candlelight vigil at the Capitol in memorial for slain Labor Commissioner Mark Costello. A wake was held last night, and today, Saturday, is his funeral. In brief, your farewell.
Well, he was an extraordinary man, and the comments at his memorial service were extraordinary. You had praise all the way from Scott Inman and Todd Hiett to Joe Dorman and Dana Murphy and Gary Jones and many others. My farewell night that night was to sing in his honor a Latin chant, an old medieval Gregorian chant that would have meant a lot to him as a fellow altar boy retired, a senior altar boy, which translated, "We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, for by your cross you have redeemed the world." Now, Mark believed that. I believe it, and I believe he's with the Savior now. I also want to say that it was very poignant because of people wearing these green ribbons calling for improvement in care for the mentally ill, given the circumstances of his murder. So I appreciate the opportunity to give him a final tip of the hat.
Well, thanks. And you can read more about that and other topics at CapitolBeatOK.com. For Pat McGuigan, I'm Alex Cameron. Have a great day.